Greetings, everyone. I hope you're doing most well, wherever you are in this world. Johnny 666, please stay dry. I'm concerned about those storms out there. They're intense. Sort of like in the age of the home video, when people could sort of stop reality and look back. It's interesting to revisit that drive. Not that it's any different from any other regarding what's going on there. But there was something I keep wanting to tell you regarding a few nights ago. I'm sorry if it's a little hard to talk. Please bear with me. And that few nights ago, it was dark, it was very rainy, and I had to make a little run. And I wasn't filming. And out of the corner of my eye, coming back sort of by the vampire house area, I saw a tent going up on the sidewalk along the street. The wind was blowing and howling. It was a pouring down, beating kind of rain. And it just seemed like such a, I don't know, like trying to pitch a tent on an ocean at night. It just seemed so desperate. And I drove around the block. I thought, I have to see this person. I have to try to help them. That's just a level of desperation beyond. And then, to my great surprise, this very strong, athletic being, and I saw they were connected with a Subaru or maybe even a Tesla that was full of other tents, and that they were just putting these up around town at a good time, middle of the night, no one's around. And I realized it's partially a psyop. Of course, there are others thrown in the mix, but this person, when I slowed down to ask, can I help you? Turned around, completely just angry. I don't think I would have realized, but they started screaming at me, and they were inexpensive REI gear. And it was basically, wow, a real threat. That threatening way that these types of criminals get when they've been busted. And this is a psyop. It's a psychological warfare. I remember a guy we found who'd been living in a great setup, like in a tree. He was a Vietnam vet. It turned out he'd been there for decades and was only found because they were building a shopco on land that had been donated to St. Martin's College solely for the purpose of remaining a forest. But St. Martin's went against the contract and opted to pay the fine instead. And that's another story. But this man was living on a spring. There was a natural spring where the parking lot is now. And there was this kind of giant triple tree that was hollowed out all on its own. And he'd been getting his veterans money in some little account and was living there perfectly, wonderfully, beautifully, and no one ever noticed. And that's usually how people who live in the woods have classically been. This is a psychological operation. This person is a bully. They're part of an elite force. They're trained. The way that person tried to chase me off in the dark that night and said, "You can stick everything up your ass," just really in a trained way. I went to the Evergreen State College. I've been around the activists. I was way too knee-deep in various and sundry nonprofit groups around here, and they have these assertiveness trainings, and this is your space, and it all is part of the elite globalist forces. It's just good to keep everything in perspective. I'm listening to our, who is it again? The little Nikola Tesla tape here. And once again, the mad chase. They're just there on sentry and to watch. And it's kind of their adrenaline rush. It's right now I'm listening to the Nikola Tesla music, and we'll leave a link below. But it has to do with an adrenaline rush that is not procured in the way that needs to be. And this is a perversion of it. I'll tell you one thing that these liberals aren't liberal with. And by the way, they co-opted the word liberal. It's like anything good is so-called liberal, anything bad is so-called right-wing. Right? And many liberals are getting lumped into whatever. Wow. Many blessings.